In the real world, we're presented with mathematical and quantum evidence that a central theme to the universe is interconnectedness. In the D&D world, that evidence is made tangible through the magic of conjuration. My name is RedNoBlue, and welcome to the second video in the A2B series. In the first part, we covered the magic known by mortals to make the vastness of D&D a little bit more manageable, from teleport to polymorph to the crucial piggyback spells. Today we're going to talk about powerful magical phenomena that transcend what mortals and perhaps even gods can achieve with their mastery of a casa. Today we're going to talk about the most powerful magical travel options in the game. Today we're going to talk about portals. A portal is a two-dimensional doorway that is tethered to a plane of existence by an archway. It's like a piece of reality that you can walk through and is glued to another piece of reality on a completely separate plane of existence. Some portals can be entered through from one side, and some can be walked through from both ends. There's no tunnel, no Stargate travel between. One moment you're on a beach, and the next moment you're in the plane of water, and now you're really in trouble, because there's no surface to get to in order to take a breath. And judging by the number of corpses floating around this side of the portal, you're not the first person to make this mistake. The first problem that you've quite literally stumbled upon is that portals are notoriously difficult to find. In fact, a portal is in one of three states at any point: deactivated, during which the portal cannot be detected using any magic short of true sight; active, but closed, when the portal radiates as low-level transmutation magic; active and open, when it radiates as high-level conjuration magic, and also it's really obvious because there's a flat screen showing another world. Portals are active and deactive during specific points of a cycle, usually at the whim of some sort of pattern or law within their immediate surroundings. One portal might be active every time the sun is ascendant in a certain constellation. Another might be active every time a sparrow nests in a specific tree. The second problem with portals is that they will require a key, and while that key will be themed in some way to the plane it opens to, it won't always be obvious. Taking the drowning portal as an example, if you had walked through that arch of tangled tussock grass with only your clothes, perhaps that day would have ended very differently. Certainly, it would have been longer. But because you carried your fishing rod, and attached to that fishing rod was a pewter sphere sinker, the portal claimed you. Had the sinker been copper, or lead, the portal wouldn't have opened. Had someone survived the journey, perhaps the portal key could have been investigated, but alas, everyone who had carried the key so far is with you now, telling no secrets. For my fellow dungeon masters who want to add portals to their world, there are 5 rules that you need to know in order to build the best portal or portal network. First, the vast majority of portals are stable at both ends, which means that conversely, some are not. Most portals will send you to a specific point on another plane of existence, and also send you back. Fewer send you in one direction, but can't go the other way. Fewer still have a chance to send you to an unexpected location as you step through. Because the chance for a portal to misbehave is so low, I would recommend that there be either a visual or narrative clue that the portal has a hidden flaw. Perhaps there's visual static, or the destination image flashes in a split second to a second scene every once in a while. Perhaps there's a sign nearby in a strange language advising danger, or a rumour around a nearby town of visitors who claim to be lost after supposedly travelling somewhere else. You don't have to spell it out for them, but there should be something to pick up on. Second, portals are tethered to at least one end. The archway that tethers it could be an artificial edifice, such as an archway of stone or a door, or it could be tree branches touching. It could be large fantasy crystals, or the ribcage of a dead dragon. Play with this rule, come up with interesting places to put a portal. If this end isn't tethered, then perhaps the other side is the basis of a thriving community, or a sneaky ambush spot for patient predators waiting for their next planar meal. Third, portals follow predictable schedules. Consequences of this could be a gathering of adventurers, different groups and people coming together to be the ones to get through the portal. Perhaps local religious observances centre around the portal, sending a cleric or paladin to the realm of light, or earth, or limbo, and having them come back with a holy relic. The advantage of predictability for the party is that if they can work out the schedule, then it's a plot device they can work around. The advantage for the DM is, so can the villains. Fourth, as we've mentioned before, and this is a big one, every portal needs a key. The key is the final piece of the pattern, the intent by which the pattern is released and manifested. Most keys are a material object, but magical spells are the combinations of verbal, somatic, material and mental components that are released into an effect. When you create the key, it should be hard to find, but not unique, or else you'd only be able to use it once. But it doesn't have to be an object either. Perhaps if 10 or more people applaud by the portal, it opens. Or if someone speaks friend in Elvish, you enter. Or perhaps if someone thinks crimson, delight, 11, petrichor. A key should be symbolically attuned to the destination plane. Sometimes the symbolism can be literal, such as a gear to travel to Mechanus, but feel free to bring metaphor into it. Perhaps horseradish root sends you to the elemental chaos because of the sharp tang when eaten and the forked shape of the root itself. Be creative, it's okay. There are plenty of options for DMs to make it not so obvious. A key can be a magical item, but it's recommended that low-level consumables be used instead of permanent wondrous items, solely because of the effort required to get those higher items in the first place. If you get the party to sacrifice the Rod of Lordly Might just so they can go to the Abyss for half an hour, they may not like that. They may never use a portal again. However, if the portal contains a rumoured fabulous prize, or is significant to their heroic journey, then perhaps it'd make a good transaction. We DMs do like having our price for everything. One alternative could be to use items that have a charge, and the activation of the portal uses one charge. A portal stays open only for a small amount of time, generally one round, so a charged item would allow multiple groups to travel through. Fifth, there is an exception to every rule. Ultimately, it's up to the DM how portals function, and if you want to make a portal that's not tethered to a certain location, and instead travels through the world in a straight line perpetually, swallowing anyone that travels near who is wearing leather, and sending them to the City of Brass, then go for it! If you want to make a drowning portal that eats the hapless fishermen of a nearby city, then do what makes you happy. Always remember that the rules for portals are there to provide cohesion, but should never trump the rule of cool. In the Second Age of Magic, all we knew about portals was that they were instantaneous and connected from one point to another point, or sometimes to 2 points. The nomenclature of portal rather than gate originated on Sigil, the City of Doors, though it has been known since the Third Age that not all portals have one end in Sigil. A portal is not a gate. A gate requires the power and intent of a sentient being to be opened, tearing a hole and destination between two planes. It is not permanent, unlike a portal, and it is usually the end result of a spell or magical creation. If a dispel magic is cast on a gate, then the spell ends, the route of travel is lost. Magic cast by mortals and deities cannot interrupt the magic of a portal, save for the wish spell of the Fifth Age, and carrying with it the risks of never being able to cast that spell again. In the Third Age of Magic, mortals uncovered the secret of creating their own portals, something previously thought to be impossible. But the understanding of magic from the Third Age and onwards accepted that magic is holistic. The underlying akasa or weave can be moulded and manifested into magic through a myriad different factors in the natural world. Create portal requires a vast expenditure of gold, resources and time, and it's likely mostly put into researching the location so that the natural world will correctly hold the spell, so that the final item will complete the pattern, and the portal will open. Why else would it cost 50,000 gold pieces to create something that normally can show up in the window frame of a peasant's hovel? That 50,000 gold is used to move the earth, grow the exact type of trees, ensure that the weather is precisely controlled, and that only the right animals inhabit the immediate surroundings. It is the hiring of druids to make sure the natural world is in sync with the type of portal you want to create, and the bribing of clerics to make sure that the portal area is neutral to the attention of gods. It is artificially creating a natural environment that will hold the pattern of a portal in precisely the way you want it to, and there is no reason that this cannot work in the 5th age we find ourselves in now. How you add portals to your world is entirely within the realms of your own imagination, but here is an idea for the DM within you to ponder. Sigil is the great city of doors, situated at the very centre of the multiverse, so the inhabitants say. It is a vast ring, much like Halo, with the city on the inside, so at night you can see the other half of the city above you. The inhabitants of that city know that there are at least hundreds, if not thousands, of portals all around them, with many of their destinations and keys known, and people able to travel there and back again with ease. Those born at the centre of the multiverse, and those special from their own planes of existence, not from the material plane, are imbued with the special ability to detect portals and have a higher chance than normal to understand their destination and activation key. With these facts known, it is not outside the bounds of possibility that one such sigil portal leads to a town or place of interest close to the party, and their first encounter with portals could be an individual or group of strangely dressed extraplanar entities. Perhaps they're there to hunt an exotic, to them, animal such as the legendary badger, or perhaps they're just out and about on a sightseeing tour. But these people will likely be arrogant or condescending. That's when you talk down to people towards these mundane heroes, and likely will not make a secret of the fact that they arrive through a portal, because everyone knows that the primes don't have the brains to figure out how to activate a portal that sends them to the centre of the multiverse. In many cases, this is all that you'll need to kickstart an exciting new Sliders or Stargate adventure. In conclusion, portals are an excellent way to add the risk and reward of the other planes directly, pun intended, to your party's doorstep. They're naturally occurring and powerful artifacts of holistic magic that can show up at any time based on patterns and strictures beyond the knowledge of the party, the powerful NPCs and villains, and even the gods themselves. They require activation keys which can provide plot hooks for future adventures, with the rewards of even more plot hooks as soon as they're used. They can provide motivation for villains in your game, and can even be the source of villains. And finally, they challenge the norm. They provide a larger glimpse at the mystery and majesty of the campaign world you have created. And in the end, isn't that why we master those dungeons? Thank you for listening to this video, and I hope you've enjoyed learning all about portals. Coming up next, a fun video that will hopefully help with a common issue that we DMs have to endure.